Hi guys, Baz from Hognose UK here. I've got another clutch to show you today. This is an interesting one in as much as I've had this female for about 5 years and not managed to get an egg out of her. It's a super stripe, and she just decided that she wasn't going to lay any eggs until this season. And I think that would probably, the contributory factor of that was the air conditioning unit that I've had put in. A lot of girls that hadn't gone for a long time have all gone. So this is just a standard super stripe to a Confusion Pastel Spectre. No other males have gone in there, so there's no chance of it being dual side. This is the only male that's gone in there. This boy has been, or the whole of last season, was producing fantastically for me. I have actually done another super stripe clutch to him, and that female is a super stripe Phantom. I made some awesome stuff, but I lost the footage. I lost one of my cards, one of my little SD cards that goes in the GoPro. I recently found it, so I may well sort of do that one as a retrospective video. So anyway, without further ado, let's go and cut these eggs and see what he's produced this time. Okay, so this is half of the clutch in question, super stripe to Confusion Pastel Spectre. This girl did have other males in there the year before. Has never laid a clutch of eggs before. This girl's been in this shed about 5 years. First clutch she's ever laid. Sorry, she hasn't been here 5 years, but she's 5 years old. Sorry. So let's have a little look at what she's made. I feel quite a chunky baby in this one. Considering that they're bang on the day due, there seems to be quite a lot of goo in these. Oh, okay. That looks like a Phantom Confusion. No, it doesn't, because there's no Phantom in there. It's a Confusion Pastel of some description. Okay. Doesn't really help me. Oh yeah, Dad has got to be a pastel minimum, obviously, because Mummy's just a super stripe. And there is a Super Spectre. Bashing the camera. That's definitely a Super Spectre. I've hatched enough of these to know what they are. It's not a super stripe. It's got too much. Pattern on it to be a super stripe. Down the sides. Whoa. And there's a pastel. That is either a pastel super stripe Confusion or a super Spectre pastel Confusion. It's definitely Confusion. Look at these bits in here. Cool. I'm really enjoying my Confusion stuff at the moment. Really liking what it's doing with certain things. So a few more won't hurt. You never know, one of these days I might even release one. Oops, bash. Wow, and there's another Confusion combo of some description. So that actually looks like a super stripe. So I'm going to say pastel super stripe Confusion on that one. Obviously, most of these will change what they are by the time they've shed off and I've had another look. There is another Confusion super stripe. I think this is the 4th clutch this boy's done this season. He's been very prolific. So the Confusion Pastel Spectre They're very prolific, and they seem to be quite confusion strong, his clutches as well. So that's the first half of the clutch. So that, I think this was a big one, so I split it in half. I think there's 10 eggs, I think, or 11, might be 11 actually. Yeah, so that was 5, yeah, and there's 6 in here. So when I went to school, that makes 11. See how easy these things are coming apart now. So they're ready. I think these probably would have gone another few days if I'd left them. Keep banging the camera, sorry. Now that is very interesting. Okay, so I know what that is. Even though it's upside down, that is a Confusion, either yellow belly or Spectre. Really, really dark, sparsely marked one. I like the look of that. I'm quite interested to see that one when it comes out. Excuse the aircon coming back on. In fact, I'm just going to turn that up and then it will turn off. It's better. Peace and quiet again. That's another Confusion. I'm going to say Pastel Confusion Phantom because I've hatched one very much like it in the first Super Stripe that I did earlier in the year. Don't actually remember if I've put a video out on that one or not yet, but if I haven't, I should. Maybe I'll do a couple of Super Stripe ones. I was just saying about how strong the Confusion is. It has been in the previous clutch, and looks like he's done it again. So, of course, now I've opened my mouth. So there looks like a so that's going to be a Pastel Phantom Gravel stroke Yellow Belly. And there is a Super Stripe. It has got some of the Confusion markings on it, but I'm going to reserve my judgment on this one because they do have small amounts of markings on the side of a Super Stripe. Become more apparent once it's out. You can tell you get the Confusion head stamp on the Super Stripe versions. That's I'm going to say that's a Super Stripe, that one. God, that one's very baggy. Whoa. Wow. That one's got its yoke all up the side, so I'm going to put it around too much. So that is definitely a Super Spectre. Can't really see if it's got pastel in it or not. I'm not sure. I don't think it has. That could be a Super Spectre Confusion. But again, we'll wait till it comes out. Wow. I was moaning that I didn't have enough Confusions the other day. Now I've got the opposite problem. Last but not least is a... Ooh, how dare it. So I know what this is. I hatched one in the last clutch as well. This is just a Spectre. So not often, you don't often see Spectres on their own. But that's what that is. That is a Spectre. They're very distinctively different markings to the Yellow Belly. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say 100% that's a Spectre. So there we go. Another awesome clutch. Can't wait till they're out and shed. So here they are, all shed off. I'm going to go through them one at a time. reasonably quickly because there's a lot of animals in this clutch. This one is a Spectre, so this is a single gene Spectre. Don't see many of these around. I've made a couple of these this season. Quite a nice looking animal, and you know, quite handy. You can do quite a lot with them. And that is a little boy. They're quite distinctive. A lot of people say, you know, they struggle a bit to see the Spectre. You know, and people say, how do you know that's a Spectre and not a yellow belly? Well, they're quite different. The fingers down the sides, you don't get a lot of the flaming. The alien heads, these bits down the sides here are all pretty uniform for a Spectre. I'm quite happy that that's what that is. So then the next one obviously is not going to be quite so easy to decide what's in it. And I can't even see it now. Where is it? Oh, this one's sitting on the top right in front of my face. So this is not so easy to tell because it hasn't got that uniform shape to the alien heads. It hasn't got the fingers down the sides. So this one is actually a pastel Spectre, yellow belly. So it's a pastel Spectre or yellow belly. Nice animal, really deep dark blacks, fantastic head. Look at the head on that, gorgeous. And again, you know, it's a basic building ingredients for your super straps. And that is a little girl. Pretty nice animal. So that pair there would make pastel super straps. Okay, now this is this is going to sound a bit contrary, but basically I'm trying to go for sort of the lesser genes, and the next sort of kind of one down would be this fella. So this is actually a Confusion super strap. They're not, these are not firsts. I actually made these earlier in the year, but I lost the footage. I believe I may have found it again, so I might do like a retrospective video. So that, the Confusion, I mean, it changes the sides a little bit on the super stripe. You can see the pattern all up the sides here, and it's got a particularly funky head stamp. So there is a Confusion super stripe. Let's have a little look. And that's a girl. Then next in line is another super stripe, which the odds on this clutch just blown me away. This is also a Confusion super stripe, but this one is a pastel. As you can see, much clearer head, definitely got the Confusion head stamp again, and you can see the Confusion. Actually, do you know what, I actually think this looks better in pastel. A lot of people sort of dissing on the pastel at the moment, but I actually think that looks better than the super stripe without it. Yeah, so there we go, pastel Confusion super stripe, and that is a little girl. Well, not so little, these are actually quite big babies, considering it was a big clutch. Quite often when you get a large number of eggs, the babies can be quite small, but not the case with these guys. Okay, so then, don't really know where to go from here. Okay, so I suppose this guy's next. So this is a Super Spectre. He hasn't got any Confusion in him. Absolutely lovely animal. These are ideal. These animals are ideal for making, like, if you want to make Spectre het clowns and things like that. You know that every baby that comes out of this or is made by this will be a Spectre. So made quite a few Super Spectres over the years. I'm very confident that that's what it is, and that's a little boy. Look at that stripe. You could almost say it's a super stripe, but I mean, he is completely striped. There's no break in that stripe whatsoever. But that is definitely a Super Spectre. Okay, and then from there, I'll go to this guy. I'm going to leave all the other Confusions till last. I suppose that I'm actually going to leave the snakes. I'm going to leave all the Confusions till last, and they're not really sort of the highest in the pecking order. But I wanted to go through all the super stripe stuff first. So this guy is amazing. I'm gonna there's 3 Super Spectre carnivores. There's 3 Super Spectre Confusions, and I was going to say those 2 are pastel and this guy isn't, but look at that head. I'm going to say so they're all, I'm going to say, actually, do you know what this one is? This one is actually a nicer marked Super Stripe, I'm going to say. Yeah. So that's another pastel Super Stripe, but absolutely phenomenally marked. Look at that. Gorgeous. Look at it. Look at the markings down his back. I love these spotty bits here. And in the head, he can't be anything but pastel. So that's a pastel Super Stripe Confusion, I'm going to say, on this one. That head. Let's have a little look what sex it is. And that's a girl. Absolutely stunning. I'm going to reserve my judgment on that one. I think it is a Super Stripe. I can't work out why it's so different from that one in there. Absolutely beautiful. So then there are 2 pastel Super Stripes, and even these guys look different. Super Spectres, and these guys look different. I mean, these are phenomenal. Look at this. These white bands going around them. I'm going to say again, these are pastel Confusion Spectres, Super Spectres. Look at that. Look at that head. That is amazing. I don't know what all these fader rings are about. The other one doesn't have them. I love all the highlighting around the little broken up dorsal stripe. I'm going to say that's a Confusion Super Spectre pastel. It's absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Look at the colours and the markings on that. They're just amazing. This clutch, you know, towards the end of the season, that's a little girl. Towards the end of the season, you always get 1 or 2 clutches that are left over, and quite often they're just like, I wouldn't call them dregs because that's a bit cruel, but they're little clutches that have been delayed being laid, and you know, quite often I find that the last clutches towards the end of the season, some of them not as fertile, but this one has just blown me away. I still got a few more clutches to come, and then this is the next one. Look at that head. That is amazing. So again, this is a Super Spectre. Look at the markings down the side of that. That is a Super Spectre Confusion pastel. So those 2 have got the same genes in them. I don't know why that one's got the fader rings, but if I was going to keep one, it would be that one, I think. When I say if I was going to keep one, that's almost a foregone. Look at these. Pack it in you. Good job the lid was on there. Look at that. Look at that animal. Absolutely beautiful. The highlighting is a bit more defined around the broken dorsal stripe on this one. But it's missing the fader rings that one's got. Look at that. Absolutely amazing. Stunning. I think adding the Confusion to these guys has kind of brought Super Stripe up to the next level. And that's a little boy. Fantastic. And then these are 2 of them are pastel Confusion stroke yellow belly / Spectres. So I'll show you those 2 together, and again they look quite different. They've got amazing heads. I'm leaving this one till last because I really like this one. Now this, look at this, look at the spots on this one. You've got a spotting down its dorsal, and that's amazing. So when I say these are only Confusions, this is a pastel Confusion Look at that head. Pastel Confusion stroke Yellow Belly Spectre. Now the difference between these, the pattern's a bit more denser on this one, and this one's got much darker blacks in it. So I'm going to say one of these is a Confusion Spectre, and the other one's a Confusion Yellow Belly, but I have no idea which one's what. But they're both phenomenal. I mean, that's got a lot of white on its head, but I can't see this one being bright enough to be a pastel, to be honest. Might be. So that could be the difference. That one actually, this one could be a pastel as well. But you know, I think the I think the Confusion has overpowered all the Spectre stroke Yellow Belly patterns. Look at that. I mean, that guy is amazing. I say guy, let's have a little look. The bellies on these are quite busy as well. Look at that. So this one is a boy. That is absolutely beautiful. So already managed to get some Lignocell on him. Don't know. Oh, it's not Lignocell, it's Vermiculite. Stuck on his head. That's a little boy. And then this one, I think maybe that is pastel, but it's not. I've made pastel ones of these before, and they've been a bit brighter than this. It's a bit sort of, and that's a boy. And that is amazing. Absolutely gorgeous. So that's actually a replica of Dad, or a possible replica of Dad, because Dad being the Spectre Pastel, Spectre Pastel Confusion. So this could well be, but this could also be a Confusion Pastel Yellow Belly. Confused you will be, but look at the amount of confusions in this clutch. It's mad. And then this is probably, despite all the myriad of colours and, you know, the different animals that have been produced in this is probably my favourite one in the clutch. This is a Confusion. Actually, do you know what? I think that has to be a pastel, that other one. So this is a Confusion Spectre or a Confusion Yellow Belly. Now, I've made Confusion Yellow Bellies before, and they don't look a lot like this. So I'm actually going to go out on a limb and say this is most likely to be a Confusion Spectre. Look how dark the blacks are on this guy. That could be the difference in that one as well, because that one there is much darker than the other one. So this boy is, oh, I love him. Absolutely gorgeous. I say boy, which I don't even know if I've sexed it or not. I don't think I have. It's actually a girl. So look at that. Absolutely love this girl. Beautiful. Typical Confusion head stamp. Not such a busy belly, which is quite interesting. Okay, so that would support my theory that this is probably a Confusion Spectre rather than a Yellow Belly. So don't get so much checkering. Okay, cool. So there we go. Phenomenal odds. Phenomenal clutch. I think out of all those eggs, I can't remember how many there was, but there's only 2 animals that, 3 animals in the whole clutch that are not Confusion. Bloody awesome. Oh, you little bastard. So there we go, end of the season. You know, as I mentioned while I was identifying them, you know, sometimes towards the end of the season some of the clutches drop off in fertility and are not quite so good. This clutch has blown me away. The odds of hitting that many Confusions, I've never had so many Confusions in a clutch. That Confusion Spectre, the darkness of it is just absolutely awesome. And how bright those Super Spectre pastel Confusions are. I still think, you know, I might change my mind on the contents of a couple of those as they grow. The difference between the Super Spectre pastel Confusion that had the ringers on it compared to the other one, you know, I may suss out what the difference is, I don't think there's any extra genes loitering in that female. I also don't think there's anything that unexpected in the male, as he's done about 4 clutches this season. I'm pretty aware of what he can produce and what he has produced. So you know, towards the end, I'm saying towards the end of the season, it's now 2022, but obviously these are eggs that were laid in 2021 and you know, sort of created in 2021. So I still have, I've got a very special clutch coming up, which obviously I'm going to hit, I can hint about, but I'm not going to even mention what's in it. It's phenomenal. I don't want to jinx it. They could be absolutely out of this world, these animals. And I've also got like a, what else have I got left? I've got a blackhead lesser to a blackhead, what did I put in there? A blackhead possible black pastel. So I want to produce a few more super blackheads. So that clutch is probably the next one to hatch. Oh, and I've got a purple passion blackhead to the poltergeist, which is a desert ghost, orange ghost pastel. They could be also be phenomenal. So there you go, waffling, but you know, absolutely over the moon. My season. There's one more clutch which would actually be the icing on the cake. But what a phenomenal 2021. There's a few ups and downs, a few yin and yangs. I've got too many shark faces for my liking. Got a couple without eyes, but I think when you're producing the numbers that I did last season, you're gonna hit a few genetic issues. You know, you're gonna have a few a few of them run out of genetic materials. I still think, and you know, I've discussed it and I've asked for opinions. I've spoken to some of the top breeders in the US and that about it, and they all think it's incubation issues. We did have quite a long period of very hot weather for the UK during the middle of the incubation, so I'm thinking that had some sort of influence on it. I also think there's a possibility it could be these trays that we're using to lift it out of the vermiculite. I'm not sure, but waffling. So if you enjoyed my video, please click like. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. And thanks for watching.